Okay, welcome everybody. Tonight we are going to be talking about leaky gut 101, but really what that really means is, digging down into supporting a healthy gut and what that really truly means. Okay, leaky gut for some people is a catchphrase. For other people, it's a true condition and something to be concerned about. And so tonight we're going to be diving really just into all of the everything you need to know about a healthy or unhealthy gut so that you can make good lifestyle choices to support a healthy gut, okay? So tonight we're talking about what our gut really is, why a healthy gut is important, why we have unhealthy guts, so what is actually contributing to that, how we know our gut is unhealthy, what leaky gut actually is, tips for a healthy gut, and then I'm going to be wrapping all of this up with some supplement recommendations. So for those of you who are new to some of these presentations with me here, my name is Jen Joldwin. I'm an advanced holistic nutritionist with training in 7 different areas of nutrition. Okay, I also hold a bachelor's degree in psychology where I focused very heavily on human physical and psychological development. So I have a very deep understanding of how our body is physically and emotionally and mentally, psychologically connected. Okay, so that means that what we're putting into our body is actually going to make a difference in how our body is physically and emotionally, psychologically responding. Okay. I personally live a plant-based vegan lifestyle. I'm a minimalist, and I help women experience symptomatic relief from PCOS and endometriosis and balance their hormones while supporting their families, okay, in making healthy living easier one bite at a time. Because if it's not easy for mom and women to implement these healthy living strategies with the whole family, I know that she's not going to get the success she's looking for, okay? So let's dive into this, okay? What exactly is our gut, right? In the short term, it's, or in the short version, it's our digestive system, okay? It includes our esophagus, our stomach, both intestines, the enzymes within our stomach and our gut system, as well as the enzymes created by food when we eat them. Digestive juices and mucus, epithelia and cilia. So if you're curious what those 2 names are, I don't normally throw in a ton of scientific stuff into my presentations because I really try to keep it manageable for the average person to actually learn and absorb this information, okay? But epithelia is basically the skin and the lining of your digestive system, okay? Now the cilia are like kind of tiny little hairs that are on the inside of your digestive system lining that actually are purposeful and useful in helping our digestive system run efficiently, okay? Then there's the microbiome, and this is a ecosystem of over 10 trillion, okay, that is a huge number, 10 trillion microorganisms that live within every one of us. Now, the very interesting thing about our microbiome is that everybody's microbiome is totally different from somebody else's. Now, the majority of us have the same types of microbes in our microbiome. We have the same types of organisms, but we don't all have the same variety. We don't all have the same ratio of the various ones. And these little microbes are what support a healthy gut, okay? They're what's important to our digestive system, to having a healthy gut, and to many, many other aspects of our life that we're going to learn about a little bit here, okay? So why is a healthy gut important, right? Well, let's see. Our healthy guts are digesting our food, okay? They're assimilating nutrients. So what does that mean? They are extracting nutrients from food and they are absorbing the nutrients, okay? Our healthy guts are helping to remove toxins from our body and eliminate waste, okay? We're building a healthy immune system. In fact, 80 to 90% of our immune system is actually located in our gut, in our digestive system, okay? Now, I want you to keep that in mind because what this means is that if you want to build a healthy immune system and you want to maintain a healthy immune system and you want to be reducing your risk of catching common colds and illnesses and reducing your risk of having autoimmune diseases and reducing your risk of having a compromised immune system, you need to start with your gut. Building a healthy gut, maintaining a healthy gut so that that environment is in optimal condition to support your healthy immune system, okay? But our gut is also responsible for maintaining our healthy hormone levels. So ladies, this one is particularly important to all of us, and in fact, even to men as well, okay? So it's responsible for helping maintain insulin levels, even our sleep hormones, such as melatonin, okay? Our happy mood hormones, such as epinephrine, or that's our painkillers, okay? But our dopamine is another really great one. So that's our happy feelings, okay? It's helping to regulate our sleep, and it improves our mood, okay? So there is strong correlation and research that now supports that our gut system is actually our second brain, okay? And so our first brain up here in our head directly talks to our second brain in our stomach, and that directly sends more information back up to our first brain, okay? And it literally is a cycle. And so what happens here is that if we have, things going on in our gut, unhealthy things happening, that means that is triggering signals in our brain to either counteract it, to manifest a symptom, to maybe cause inflammation or a response in the immune system. But it also could mean something like brain fog, right? Where your brain is actually not thinking clearly because nutrients from your brain or from your gut are actually not making it to your brain in order for you to have that clear thought process, okay? So why would we have unhealthy guts? Okay, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, environmental toxins are increasing, okay? The toxins in our air, in our water, in our soil, which we know are three major components to growing, manufacturing food, okay? No matter where the food comes from, we need one of those three sources and resources in order to make this food. Now, what goes into our food comes directly from the nutrients or the resources that are used to make it. So if your food is grown in soil, the toxins in the soil are being absorbed into those plants the same way nutrients would be from the soil, okay? If your food is grown in water or your food is drinking water, such as animals, any toxins in those are going into the body, into the plants, and being absorbed and stored. Okay, so what does that mean? That means when we eat those foods, we are now absorbing and assimilating those toxins, okay? But also too, our food quality is significantly decreasing, and not just from our environmental toxins to make those foods, okay? But we have, rows and rows and rows and shelves upon shelves of processed foods in the grocery stores that contain preservatives, flavor enhancers, synthetic vitamins, GMOs, pesticides, trans fats, artificial colors, growth hormones, and all of these are contributing to our body, okay? And they're being absorbed and used in our body or stored in our body as toxins. Now, if we go back really quick, we'll see here a couple of things I'm going to point out to you, okay? Our digestive system, our gut, is responsible for removing toxins. That means that you need to be eating food that help do that, right? So our digestive system is basically a long, very, very, very long track of a sewer system, okay? Now, those little cilia that we talked about earlier, those little hair-like follicles inside, help move toxins and food and waste through your digestive system. Now, in the process, those little cilia pick up all the good foods and the nutrients and the things that we're supposed to be absorbing in our body, okay? And they process it and send it off to the appropriate areas and into our bloodstream to be used appropriately. But when we're not feeding our body good food, and then we're going to talk about what type of food you should be eating to help support a healthy gut later. But when we're not feeding our body good food, we don't have those opportunities to remove those toxins. And in fact, those toxins instead are actually damaging our microbiome, okay? And so we are killing off those really helpful, healthful microbes and bacteria in our gut that is supporting good health, okay? So really there are two types of microbes and gut flora that we can have. Okay, we have the helpful ones and we have the non-helpful ones. Now the helpful ones we actually get from food, and we create them from food. Okay, so when we are eating real whole food plants, that is supporting a healthy gut. That is putting good nutrients into our body so that our body can do what it's supposed to do. Okay, now that includes fiber. So we are not going to be able to move things along in our digestive system if we don't have fiber coming into our diets. Okay, this fiber we have is basically a bulking agent, and it helps collect all those toxins, hold on to those toxins, and move its way through your digestive system, picking up excess waste and moving along. Okay, that fiber is also grabbing unhealthy and harmful bacteria from your body. So not just toxins, but unhelpful, harmful bacteria, things that you would be growing in your body if you were eating, say, a lot of refined sugars or refined carbohydrates, such as white breads and white pastas, white grains. Okay, so having those extra fibers, which you would get from fruits, vegetables, legumes, whole grains, is going to help grab those toxins and move them out. Okay, now, because our food quality is decreasing, unfortunately, so many of these convenience products on the market don't actually have, the fiber that we need in order to keep our digestive system clean. It's basically like the sweeper of our digestive system. But instead, we have all these preservatives and flavor enhancers that are actually toxins and that are actually feeding the bad bacteria in our stomachs, okay, in our guts. So rather than having a really, really healthy family or microbiome of bacteria in our gut, when we have these increased environmental toxins and this decrease in food quality, we are actually allowing the balance of good versus bad bacteria in our guts to go off the other direction, okay? And this is causing an unhealthy gut. Now, these are a couple of the, the symptoms or indicators that you might be experiencing that would indicate to you that your gut might be a little unhealthy, okay? Stomach and digestive issues such as Crohn's, ulcer, colitis, IBS, even just bloating and upset stomachs, fatigue, food cravings. That is a really, really big one. There's a reason we get food cravings, okay? There's actually two reasons. One, our body has not received the actual nutrients that it needs. Our body is nutritionally starved. When we factor in those these two indicators of why we have unhealthy guts, okay? Increased toxins and decreased food quality. Our body is nutritionally starved, and so our body craves more food, real food, okay? But also, those bad bacteria in our gut, they're pretty smart. They crave the foods that they know are going to repopulate them, such as sugars and oils, fats. These are the types of things that would, increase the population of the unhealthy bacteria in your gut, okay? So, but you might also be looking at migraines, weight changes, skin irritations, acne. That's a really, really common one. Psoriasis is another one. Dry skin, rashes, allergies is another one, autoimmune conditions, low immune systems, and even mood swings and instability, okay? These are all indicators that you could be having something going on in your gut. Now, what exactly is leaky gut, okay? So leaky gut is essentially increased permeability of the intestinal walls, okay? So what this means, our intestinal walls are basically, closed off with very small, very, very, very small gaps in between all of the tissues, okay? And in these small gaps, these very, very tiny gaps in a healthy gut, this is where nutrients are allowed to pass through our intestinal walls into our bloodstream. And this is how our body assimilates and uses vitamins and minerals, phytonutrients, okay? Now, when we have a leaky gut, these gaps are actually widened. And what happens is that now these gaps are so large that we actually have toxins and bacteria that are passing into the bloodstream. okay? And this can lead to more severe symptoms such as IBS and Crohn's, UC, it's also colitis, confusion even. So, you don't just have a brain fog, but this is actually confusion. You have joint pain because you have such an inflammatory response within your body, okay? You have difficulty concentrating, chronic diarrhea, constipation, or even bloating, okay? And these types of symptoms and the increased permeability can actually be increased or triggered by stress, certain foods, medications, antibiotics, caffeine, alcohol, gluten, sugar, even dairy for some people, okay? So these are all, aspects of our lives that, on a daily basis could actually be contributing to an increased feeling of unwellness related to gut health, okay? Now, the interesting thing for a lot of people, I'm gonna just, okay, I'll go here for you guys, is that when they start to add more good things to improve their gut health, they actually feel worse for a little bit, okay? And I wanna talk about why. Your gut system's really, really big, right? Like we talked about, it's very, very long. It can, for certain types of foods, it can take anywhere between a couple of days to maybe even a couple of weeks to pass through your system, okay? Now, how quickly it moves through your system is really gonna depend on how healthy your gut system is, okay? And so what can happen when we continually feed, the poor bacteria or the unhealthy bacteria in our body, what happens is we can actually get a buildup of, gas and bloating in our gut that we become so accustomed to that we actually think is normal, okay? And we don't actually realize, hey, I'm really bloated. Like you don't notice it because it's just a part of who you are or who you think you are, okay? And so what happens when we start adding more, healthy options to our diet that's going to improve our gut health is we can actually have a bit of a detox process. And in this process, what happens is, when we're adding more fruits and vegetables that are loaded with healthy fiber, whole grains, and probiotics, which are going to help feed the good bacteria in our gut, and live cultured foods such as sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha, like all of those types of fermented foods, okay? Those are going to help support healthy gut. Now, when we add these, this allows our digestive system to kickstart into gear, right? To just, let's go right out of the gates. We're going to get things moving. And so for some people, they might actually experience an increase in diarrhea maybe. Or they may actually find that they're really gassy. And this is totally normal because what's happening is your digestive system is finally working. It's finally moving. Whereas before, it may have been sitting pretty still because maybe you didn't have enough fiber in your diet to help things move along. So instead, you had all this gas buildup, which actually, is continuing to decompose within your body and create actually more gas as a byproduct of the decomposition and the waste product, okay? And so when you start to add all these healthier options, you can actually have a more gassier effect as your body releases all these stored toxins and waste that it had been holding on to that was unable to actually pass through the gut system. So adding more fruits and vegetables, okay? These are gonna add, not only just vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients, which our bodies need, okay? But they're also adding the fiber, that fiber that's gonna help grab those toxins, that's gonna help grab those harmful bacteria and going to help really clean and scrub out our digestive system, okay? But what they're also doing, there's a couple of things here. They are providing a prebiotic effect within our body. And what that means is that when when whole foods, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, when we eat these, they create a chemical reaction within our body. This chemical reaction actually supports the growth of helpful and good bacteria in our body of probiotics, okay? And this is a prebiotic effect. Prebiotic means that we are supporting an environment or creating an environment that supports the growth of probiotics, okay? So eating these whole foods is really going to help your body actually support that probiotic effect. And so when you have a bigger balance of probiotics, so good bacteria in our gut versus the harmful bacteria, this is where you start to improve your gut health. So it really comes down to making simple food choices, adding more fruits and vegetables to your plate and your diet, adding more whole grains, really skipping those refined or enriched white grain products, okay? Making sure you're getting a minimum of 25 grams of fiber every day. Live cultured foods, like I said, so that would be kimchi, kombucha, even kefir, pickles, like so certain pickled food, fermented food, then of course probiotics, lots of water, which is really going to help flush out those toxins as well, and making sure you're getting a good amount of sleep, okay? Because we talked about earlier how our sleep and our gut are a little bit connected, and making sure that you are getting healthy sleep is going to allow your gut system the opportunity to rest so that it can work efficiently, okay? But then we also want to look at types of things to reduce or eliminate from our diet, the things that are going to feed those harmful bacteria, and that's going to promote those, uncomfortable symptoms that we get when our gut starts to lack good health, okay? So stress, you really want to eliminate or reduce stress. Find ways to manage your stress. Now, I do a presentation on stress, so if that interests you, let me know. It's simple ways to reduce stress in your lifestyle. Caffeine and alcohol, these are really big ones. These trigger, okay, a lot of symptoms in our gut. They're just not good products to be putting into your body, okay? Sugars, so that includes refined grains, okay, so the white bread products, processed and refined sugars, so that's white sugars, high fructose corn syrup. I also do another talk on sugars, so if you are struggling with really reducing the sugar in your life, be sure to just leave a comment here, and I can even send you the link for the last sugar talk that I did, or we can schedule another one and we can give you a lot more refined information into to really reducing sugar in your personal lifestyle, okay? Gluten is another big one for a lot of people. For some people, gluten really doesn't interfere with them, or at least they don't seem to notice. And for other people, it can be a huge trigger. I know for me personally, some of the biggest triggers in my life for my own health would be stress, alcohol, sugar, and gluten. Okay, those 4 things. So those ones are really, really harmful. I know specifically for me as somebody who has a hormone imbalance. So those are things that I have to reduce or eliminate to manage my own personal symptoms and be able to actually feel well. But then processed oils and processed foods. Okay, so the processed oils, a lot of them in the store, they basically contain little to no nutritional value except a lot of calories. And unfortunately, you're better off actually just getting those oils directly from the food source itself, okay? And then processed foods, we talked about how those toxins and those additives and those chemicals are really going to interfere with our healthy gut. So you want to really look to reduce those, okay? Now, here are my recommendations for gut health, okay? So there are a couple of things that I recommend. Number 1, Juice Plus, okay? Juice Plus is really simple. It's whole food-based nutrition from more than 30 fruits, vegetables, berries, grains, and oils, okay? It's as simple as that. Now here's the thing, they are real food, right? So they're going to affect everybody differently. I couldn't tell, as a nutritionist personally, I couldn't say, okay, you need broccoli to fix your problem. You need an apple to fix your problem. You need blueberries to fix your problem. It doesn't work that way. What works is when we flood our bodies with whole food, then we support our body in doing what it does best, okay? Because we get real food, real nutrients that are going to support our body. Now, what I really like about the Juice Plus capsules is that these fruits and vegetables are grown toxin free. So you don't have the elemental toxins playing a factor in the food in the capsules, okay? You don't have the decreased quality of food because these foods are actually grown on small family farms that have rigid growing standards and an NSF certification stating that this, what's on the label is actually in the capsule, and what's actually in the capsule is on the label. So there are no hidden ingredients. It's literally just food, and it's giving your body at a cellular level specifically what it needs to thrive, okay? Now, there's also the complete shakes. This is one that I recommend specifically for gut health, okay? And there's a couple of reasons for this. Number one, it's vegan, meaning that there is no animal products in it that would potentially increase the inflammatory response within your body, okay? It's made with non-genetically modified ingredients, which is going to help reduce the amount of toxin overload that your body is getting on a daily basis, okay? Gluten and dairy-free. We talked about how gluten is a trigger for many people in having an unhealthy gut. Dairy as well. But it also has 8 grams of fiber. So I talked about how fiber is a huge, huge deal. It's basically, the scrubbing brush of our intestines and our gut. So having 30% of your daily fiber requirements in just one serving is an incredible way to ensure that you are getting good fuel into your body and maintaining a healthy gut. Okay, it's low glycemic, which is a really big deal because it means that even people who are struggling maybe with diabetes or insulin resistance can actually eat this without concern about their blood sugar levels, okay? But it also means for anybody who's, not struggling with diabetes or insulin resistance, it also means that you're going to feel fuller longer because of the fiber and because you're going to have a slow, steady energy release from the food, okay? From this shake powder. Comes in 2 delicious flavors, chocolate and vanilla. So it literally is one of the best products I personally eat. But here's what I really, really like about it. Okay, there's a couple of things, but broccoli sprouts, radish sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, chickpea powder, and millet. Okay, quinoa, amaranth, pea protein, rice protein, water wash soy, and mushrooms. These these foods are directly supporting a healthy gut. Okay, they're whole food, they contain fiber, they're plant-based, they're grown with strict standards, they're not loaded with toxins or GMOs. And sprouts are known to have much higher concentrations of micronutrients than their full-grown plant counterpart, meaning that when you're eating, foods made or grown in sprouts, you're getting a much stronger concentration of micronutrients to your body. Okay, so that means this is not just, it's not just a smoothie powder. It's not just another shake powder. This is actual real food that is going to support your body in many ways more than just having the convenience of a smoothie or an energy ball or some pudding, which is actually one of my favorite ways of making, of using this powder. Okay, so Juice Plus is not going to replace your requirement to eat these fruits and vegetables, okay, and these whole grains and these legumes, but they're going to bridge the gap so that, on the days when what you're probably eating versus what you really should be eating, or the days you can't commit to it, or, overcoming the struggles of a modern lifestyle, this is that bridge between that gap, okay, and it just makes it so easy and so convenient. Plus, it's super unique, okay? So like I mentioned earlier, it's going to affect everybody differently when you take Juice Plus or when you eat Juice Plus. It's just food. So it's not a multivitamin. Instead, it's real food providing whole food, plant-based vitamins, minerals, and micronutrients, okay? Which means that our body actually recognizes those nutrients and absorbs them, as opposed to if we were looking at a multivitamin where they are synthetic ingredients. And so our body actually filters out a lot of those vitamins as recognizing them as a toxin, okay? So it is just food. It has a food label, and it's kosher as well, which is a really big deal for a lot of people. So, and then like the vegan thing is a really big deal. So it really does mean that like even the capsules, they're not made from, an animal-based product. Even the capsules themselves are vegan, just the empty capsule. So it really means that it can accommodate any form of, any diet or any label that you might put on your eating style, okay? But being NSF certified is where it becomes, so number 2 and number 3 are by far the most important things to me, specifically as a nutritionist, recommending a health food supplement product, okay? So it's NSF certified. That means it's third-party certified to show that what's on the label is exactly what's in the capsules, okay? There are no banned substances. And so it's truly a clean, whole food product, okay? But it's also the most researched nutritional product in the world. Now, for me, that's important. I need to know that a product is safe. I need to know that it is okay for anybody and everybody. And I need to know that there is research behind it that proves or supports that these are a worthwhile product to be recommending and for people to be taking. I personally take it. I've been eating Juice Plus now for 2.5 years almost. And I recommend it to all of my clients because it is the simplest and easiest way to actually get whole food plants into your body and have them affect your body at a cellular level, okay? This is where that research comes in. Juice Plus has been shown to positively affect your body at a cellular level in so many different ways. If you have questions about the research, feel free to reach out to anybody who, or to the person who invited you here tonight, because we can actually send you information on all of the research. The research is actually published and available for viewing to the public. So there is tons of information in there that would help support all of the positive benefits that it provides to your body. Now, so here's what I'm loving, okay? The Juice Plus company is so mission driven about having healthy families, not just healthy people, okay? And they recognize that, sometimes the hardest part about having a healthy family is actually your children. So with every paying adult order, your child can actually get 4 years of Juice Plus for free, okay? Just by enrolling in the Healthy Starts for Families. And so what that means is that your children are getting their Juice Plus for free, which comes in either a capsule or a chewable gummy, which is delicious. I have a really hard time staying out of my daughter's gummies, actually. But basically, you can see here, like, parents are reporting positive influences in their children's health and behavior by participating in the Healthy Starts for Families program and eating Juice Plus. Okay, so 60% are missing fewer days of school. That's a really big deal these days. Most of us as parents, working parents, we can't afford to have our kids home any longer than they need to be these days after having had so many months off work or modified work or reduced work while we homeschooled our children, okay? 56% of kids are taking fewer over-the-counter drugs or prescription drugs, okay, which 66% are also visiting the doctor less. I don't know about you, but lately the wait times to get in to see the doctors are much longer than they used to be. With everything going on in the world, they're spacing out, they're reducing the amount of clients or patients they can see in a day. It's harder to get in to see a doctor. So the less times you need to visit your doctor, the better, okay? But here's some of the big things, right? 71% of children are consuming less fast foods and soft drinks. That's a huge deal, right? These are, fast foods and soft drinks are some of the leading contributors to childhood obesity and childhood type 2 diabetes. And 61% are eating more fruits and vegetables. And really, as parents, that's one of our main goals when we feed our children, right? That they just eat more vegetables at the table. So these are all positive, changes that are happening when enrolling in the Healthy Family Starts. So I encourage you, jumpstart your health, okay? Join the Shred program. There's 10 simple lifestyle guidelines. There's group coaching, free e-resources, there's cookbooks, support, we run challenges, I throw in meal plans, there's tons of so much, and there's now workout videos in there, there's so much in there that's really gonna help jumpstart your health, as well as, of course, supporting your healthy gut by including more foods into your diet, reducing stress, reducing alcohol and caffeine. All those things that we talked about are actually part of the 10 guidelines. So you could easily shred the food, toxins, and habits that are serving you just by jumpstarting your health and joining the Shred 10 program. Now, I'm going to go over this really quickly for you guys. The Shred 10 program is not a diet, okay? It's not about restrictions in your life. It's actually about living real life with intention. Okay? It's about building healthy habits. Now, when we talked about all these toxins that our body is absorbing and storing in our body, okay? And what happens here is stored fat actually enrobes toxins, okay? They create a bubble around toxins that protects our vital organs from these toxins, okay? Now, when we diet or when we restrict our food, if we over-exercise, we burn fat, but we don't lose those toxins. And in fact, now those toxins are exposed. And so we oftentimes even feel worse, and that causes a rebound, okay? And so the self-protection, the fight or flight instinct within our body kicks in, and we get kind of that fat retention and fat production where we rebound and actually end up the same size we were, or worse, even larger than before, okay? But when we cleanse our bodies, such as actually living a healthy lifestyle, like the Shred 10 supports, then what happens is we actually shred not just the fat, but we also cleanse our body, okay? And that allows our body to remove those excess toxins so that we end up in a maintenance lifestyle where we're supporting good health as opposed to trying to recorrect our health, okay? So Juice Plus is really affordable, okay? You can see here on the right, a lot of us here in Canada and in the States even, we're spending $4 or more for a drink like that, which contributes to over 100% of your daily sugar intake and really useless calories and no nutrition, okay? Or for less than that every day, you could be supporting your body at a cellular level with whole food, plant-based nutrition that is going to support good health. So really the choice comes down to priorities. Now, getting started is super easy. Connect with your friend who invited you here tonight. Choose your Shred package. So, which Juice Plus products do you want to come in with? Are you going to be enrolling your children so that you can get free product for your children, which you can see here if your kids are getting the chews. So they would get the red and the green, okay? So the orchard and the veggie blend, which is $75 a month. So that's here in Canada. So that's $75 a month of free product you'd be getting that supports good health for your children, okay? And you can see here by joining the Shred, you're gonna be craving more fruits and vegetables. You'll have a healthier weight because you're actually shredding those excess toxins, better recovery from your workouts, improved sleep and energy. Those are big things that we know are related to our gut. Improved regularity, and even increased mental clarity, okay? So 3 steps: connect with your friend, choose your Shred package, and change your life. So I want to thank all of you for being here tonight, and I'm just gonna head over to the chat box and see if there are any questions. And actually I'm going to open up the floor for questions as well.